All right, let's just dive right into something you think you know inside and out: sleep. But we're going to look at it in a way that is so strange, so completely different from our world, that you might start questioning everything you thought you knew about getting a good night's rest. Welcome to the absolutely bizarre world of medieval sleep.
So, let me ask you something right off the bat. You probably think that the absolute gold standard for good health is 8 solid, uninterrupted hours of sleep, right? I mean, it's what every article tells us. It's the goal we're all chasing. But what if I told you that for most of human history, that whole idea would have sounded completely bonkers? Yeah, for our medieval ancestors, waking up in the middle of the night wasn't some annoying problem. It was just part of the schedule.
And this brings us to the absolute heart of the matter, a practice that historians now call segmented sleep. And this wasn't some weird fad, you guys. For centuries, this was just how people slept. So what is it exactly? Well, you'd go to bed, sleep for a few hours, then wake up for an hour or two, and then go back to sleep for another few hours. And here's the craziest part. Nobody considered this insomnia. It was just night. It was totally normal.
So you have to wonder, right? If they weren't tossing and turning and stressing about being awake, what on earth were they doing in the dead of night? Well, they were actually getting a lot done.
The whole rhythm was pretty simple, really. You had your first sleep, which started soon after the sun went down. Then you'd wake up around midnight for this period they called the watch. After an hour, maybe two, you'd head back for your second sleep until the sun came up. And this watch period was surprisingly busy. It was this quiet, peaceful time people used to pray or read. You know, practical stuff too, like tending the fire or checking on the animals. But it was also social. People would just pop over and visit their neighbors. Some doctors at the time even wrote that it was the absolute best time for intimacy, since you were already relaxed and rested.
Now, okay, if that schedule sounds a little weird, the actual conditions they slept in were, well, they were on another planet. You can just forget about your memory foam mattress and high thread count sheets. I mean, the difference is just staggering. For most people, a bed was a pallet, which was literally just a sack stuffed with straw, often right on the cold, damp floor. And it wasn't just uncomfortable, it was basically a thriving little ecosystem for all sorts of insects, lice, you name it. And of course, in these drafty stone or wooden houses with zero insulation, staying warm was a life or death challenge. So, what was the medieval version of a thermostat? Often, it was an actual animal. Yep, the body heat from a dog or even a pig sleeping right there in the room with you was a vital source of warmth. It was a furry, living furnace.
This is also where the classic nightcap comes from. It wasn't some quirky fashion statement. No, it was a totally practical piece of clothing designed to keep all that precious body heat from escaping out the top of your head in a room that was probably close to freezing.
Okay, so picture it. You're on your straw sack, wearing a hat so you don't freeze. The next question is, who's sleeping next to you? Because the whole idea of a private bedroom would have just been baffling to them.
Yeah, personal space just wasn't really a thing. You'd have entire families, mom, dad, kids, grandma, all piled onto one big straw mattress to share warmth. Livestock were pretty common bedfellows. And if you were staying at an inn, oh yeah, you'd be sharing a bed with a few total strangers. And get this, since there were no safes or locked doors, travelers would often just sleep right on top of their luggage. It was basically a low-tech alarm system. If someone tried to grab your stuff, well, they'd have to wake you up first.
So beyond the cold, and the crowding, and the bugs, the night was a time of real anxiety. See, for them, it wasn't just about getting a good night's rest. It was literally about making it to the morning. This completely reframes the whole idea of bedtime prayers. With mortality rates being what they were, prayers weren't just for comfort. Think of them more like last-minute spiritual antivirus software, a final plea to get your affairs in order with God, just in case you didn't wake up. That famous children's prayer? This is where it comes from. It sounds so sweet and innocent to us now, but its origins are pretty grim. It's a very direct acknowledgement that dying in your sleep was a real, everyday possibility. And while people worried about spiritual dangers, the most immediate physical threats weren't hiding under the bed or in the closet. Nope, they were already your roommates. We're talking fleas, lice, and of course the dreaded bed bug. These things were so incredibly common that they were just an accepted, unavoidable part of life. A comfortable, itch-free night was a luxury that very, very few people ever got to experience.
Okay, so this has been a fun and kind of gross trip back in time, but why does any of this matter to us today? Well, because it turns out our modern idea of a normal night's sleep might be the strangest habit of all.
This whole 8-hour solid block of sleep is a surprisingly recent invention. It was really born out of the Industrial Revolution, when factory whistles and strict schedules completely changed our relationship with time itself. Suddenly, waking in the night wasn't normal. It was unproductive.
And that brings us to the biggest takeaway here. If you're one of the millions of people who wakes up in the middle of the night and lies there panicking, unable to get back to sleep, maybe there's nothing wrong with you. Maybe you're just tapping into an ancient, natural sleep pattern. So next time it happens, don't panic. Just think to yourself, okay, the watch has begun.
Which really leaves us with a huge question to think about. In our modern quest for 8 perfect, uninterrupted hours, with our sleep trackers and our productivity apps, have we completely lost touch with what it actually means to rest? Has our obsession with efficiency made us fundamentally misunderstand the true nature of sleep?